Yeehaw! Here we are on Thursday night. FazLESS Radio begins right now.
FazLESS Radio. Everybody's going to subscribe to this one. FazLESS Radio? It's like the best thing.
Oh, no. Well,
Look,
I'm
just glad you got the actual buttons clicked right. Good job.
Yeah, well, I had practice in the green room. You got quite a laugh out of that one. I'm like, hey, I know what I'm doing now. We had to remove Faz from the show. We came up with a new rule that those who are apologists are no longer allowed on Faz Radio.
Wow. Is he ever
So actually, one of the two of us has to fight a little bit for Gala because
I'm not anti-Gala all the way. It's just like we're just gonna. I'm not anti-Gala at all. Hell, if I was anti-Gala, I wouldn't be holding a fuck ton of assets with them. So
I could argue that with you. I argued, we did like a 2-hour Faz Radio at one point where we were arguing and I was throwing bombs at him. I'm like, the only reason you're promoting this is because you have 80 billion tokens and you want them to be worth something. That's the only reason you support this nonsense. And he was chewing back at me. We had a really good argument. That was probably our highest rated show.
I like it. Let's get in it. Yeah.
Yeah, we got a good one tonight. So we're going to talk a little bit about the Gala stuff that's been going on with announcements, their partnership with Google. We're going to talk a little about all these play tests that are coming out. We have an epic game called Fury that Betty played. Betty can't be with us tonight, but he recorded some stuff and gave Nate the, what is that, 411. There we go.
Yeah,
I almost said 911.
We'll see how well we do with breaking it down. It's not going to be.
Yeah.
Oh,
and we'll see how many times he dies. He's really good at that on these play tests. But we'll break all that stuff down. And, of course, there's always conjecture and things going sideways and conversations that take place. And we have the comments rolling. People love to throw their 2 cents in. And we love to hear it. So, big show, and let's get to it, man. Where do you want to start? There's so much. We could have gone on in the green room for like another hour.
I know. I was like, we can talk about this. We can talk about this. Let's go quick news updates. There's an Arbitrum airdrop that came out. That's nice.
Yes.
We talked a lot about that. But it was the snapshot with February 6th, and you had to do, it was 3 out of like 7 check marks. Like it was bridge to Arbitrum, trade at a certain level or, transact to a certain level on Arbitrum, be a part of the voting mechanism with Arbitrum and their, I can't remember what it's called, some other spot, and then a few other ones. But really, if you would have just followed our suggestion and getting magic, you would have been just fine. You would have had all those and you would have got your Arbitrum airdrop. So,
did you guys ever put out a document on how to do that bridging and so forth? Because I was talking about that when I went to Avalanche. I do like Avalanche, but it is like nerve-wracking trying to get your stuff over there. I just did it again. I put some more. I took another couple $1,000s and threw it over on the Avalanche side, and I almost screwed the pooch again getting it over there.
You want to know the easiest
I lost
way to
it
do
for
now?
a while.
You want to know the easiest way to bridge it now?
How?
Go to portfolio.metamask.io/bridge. So
I did check that out when you originally said that.
It's super
I
simple.
totally forgot about that. I went to that core app that Avalanche has, and oh my God, I ended up losing my USDC for like a half an hour because it went to the wrong wallet.
The other one that I like to use, or I've used a lot in the past, is Synapse, the Synapse protocol for bridging. It's simple. It's not complicated at all. So Synapse or the MetaMask or Arbitrum. I mean, literally, it was just on the Arbitrum site themselves. So theirs was pretty easy. Yeah, Faz is on here. Faz is commenting on the FazLESS Radio. Faz, you're not allowed to comment on FazLESS Radio. Or is that you typing that in?
That's me.
Okay. Hey, I guess it's Faz. FazRadio is allowed on there, but it's.
Yeah.
Did you name it the FazLESS Radio yet?
Yeah, I named it FazLESS Radio on YouTube.
That's funny. Yeah, so those are the two that I use. It's pretty simple. I mean, and most of them you can either only do a stable coin, USDC, DAI, and some other ones that were out there, and then ETH, as a lot of times you can bridge over. So, and then there's a few other ones that are complicated that go into a lot of different aspects. If you're trying to bridge actual tokens, it has to go through a couple different leaps to get back. So,
well, that was to add even more anxiety to my bridging over to Avalanche. It was right when USDC depegged.
Oh yeah.
So when it showed that it said, because I'd already hit the button and it's going through like step 2 of 96 and all this shit to get over there.
Oh yeah.
And it pulls up and it says USDC 0.05 or whatever, and I went, oh fuck, it's gonna get to the other side. I'm gonna have like $11. I was like a nervous wreck going through that.
Yeah, dude, that was interesting.
So I get to the other side and I actually have more USDC because of whatever transfer stuff. It was like $8 more. I was like, I paid for my gas transaction. I was like, all right.
Yeah, that's interesting. Okay, there you go.
Right.
Yeah.
I hurried up and converted it to AVAX before they changed their mind on giving me that $8.
Yeah, well, I think that whole universe, the banking side, the USDC and whatnot, I mean, honestly, for me, it just points to the fact of, not your keys, not your coins, like hold your own assets type of situation again. The banks are going to be, the banks are the banks, right? They got bailed out in 2008 with the mortgage crisis. They're probably going to get bailed out again in some level or another, now. So most likely we're not going to see many more failures that come into light. But if you were one of the people that were holding your money on SVB or, Silvergate or anything along those lines, like, what are you doing now? Right? It's tough. It's a tough situation. So I try to hold as least amount on the bank as I can.
There's rumors floating all over crypto Twitter that $2 trillion is supposedly being earmarked for bailouts in a pool. And if they print another $2 trillion plus print another $1 trillion for Zelensky and crew, I mean, we're going to have inflation that is going to be off the charts, absolutely off the charts. It'll be like the 70s, right? Late 70s when it was 14, 15, 16%.
Dude, right now we're almost at 3. We're almost under 4%, dude. Look at inflation right now. It's like 4.3%.
Okay.
Dropping like a rock. We can pump all sorts of money into this economy. We're good, dude. No problem.
So here's the problem with that, though. So I could argue this one all day too. Okay. We had double digit inflation, 14, 16, 18% as we drove up to this, right? So now you have your prices set here. So if it only grows, you say, oh, inflation's only 4%. They're not going to drop the price of meat and milk and eggs and gas back down to that and then go up 4%. See, but that's what they want people to believe. Oh, it came down. Bullshit. We're stuck up here now. We're going to be paying these high prices for the end of time. Nobody's going to lower their prices.
I agree with you 100%. We were sitting at, and I think we topped out at 12%, according to Truflation. And CPI didn't even get up that high, but still.
CPI is bullshit.
It is. I agree. I'm just giving you the two numbers that are out there.
Right.
But that's a snapshot in time, right? And they're looking, when you look at the year over year, right? And okay, all of last year, we were sitting at an average of 8%, 6%, in that range. And then this year, we're going to be at 5%, 4%. And then next year, 5%, 4%. They're not going to get down to the 2% that their target. But it's exactly what you're saying. It's like, well, now you have these prices that are already inflated. They're not bringing them down. They're just inflating them more by the 3 or 4%.
Just slower, yeah.
Just slower inflation. So, yeah, I get what you're saying. I totally agree with you. You can't argue that. So,
yeah,
I'm arguing when I agree with you.
Well, no, right. So a lot of people don't realize that. Again, they take everything at surface. They watch the MSM, the mainstream media, and they say, oh, it's all great now. We're down to 5%. And people go, oh, shit. all my prices are going to drop. I'm not going to have to pay $73 for, a thing of steaks for the family. Bullshit. Your grocery bill's still going to go up. And I'm hoping, what I am hoping is for, and this is going to sound horrible, I want the banks to feel some pain. That means we're going to feel some pain too, but I want the banks to feel some pain so that they maybe understand a little about what we've had to go through the last few years. I've got a fantastic credit score, right? And I still have to pay ridiculous interest rates for anything.
Yeah.
And now these banks got away for the last 5 years paying less than 1% interest on deposits. You had these crypto companies coming out and like BlockFi and Nexo and Celsius that were, we know what they did, but they were paying so much more. And so people were yanking money out of banks and they were putting it into crypto or even stable coins, getting these higher yields. They've got to come around. They've got to find a way to come around and adopt crypto somehow.
Yeah. I mean, the sad part is I think the loans and that APY and type of stuff is the only way they know how to do that is in a Ponzi type situation, right? I'm going to take the depositor's money to give it to this person who gives it to this person who gives it to this person. And all of a sudden it comes back around and there's no actual yield, there's nothing generating this yield. And that's what was happening even with SVB, who was buying bonds, right? Like they failed buying bonds, like the safest thing in the world, and they failed buying bonds. Like, what are we coming to? Like, but that was from our government inflating things, raising interest rates at such a rapid pace. So they couldn't. Well, plus they were using other people's money to buy the bonds. They were leveraging to buy bonds, and it was just so the interest was so high they just couldn't pay back the rate. So, I mean, it's crazy how it works. So,
it's going to get worse before it gets better. I think that's the only thing we know. I think people are starting to understand the Bitcoin side of things now. And being able to at least look at it and go, this fiat world that we live in isn't as cracked up as it should be, and they're panicking because Bitcoin's going up while all this stuff is going on. And people are looking, they're noticing. They might be a little closer to jumping in than they were a year ago. There's no doubt about that.
I thought when the USDC was depegging, everything was diving down except for Bitcoin and Ethereum. Like they were in the green and everything else was red by a lot. So it's where are you gonna fly to, right? You're gonna fly to the safe haven.
Well, and you have a big kerfuffle that's brewing right now because they're releasing the code that will allow ETH stakers to unstake.
Yeah.
So this could really pummel ETH. I mean, if you have all these people that are going to yank their stuff and these exchanges who have billions staked and all of it disappears, I think you're going to see a bigger dip on that side. And especially, I think if you couple that with Gensler's threats of ETH as a security and everything else, I think they're going to try and take down ETH that way.
It'll be interesting. I think I read something, and this was when ETH was around 1,400. That I'm going to butcher it, but it was only like 20% of the stakers were in profit, and so the idea would be they're not going to sell for that loss yet.
Interesting.
But there's so many other factors that are going to come into play. One is, were they, when you talk about these stakers, what do they want to do with that ETH in the first place? Is it just pure money? Do they want to start buying, random JPEGs with it, PFPs? Do they have other aspects they want to use it for? So, and I think there's also, actually, that's funny. XRPL just posted it too. It says, does all of it get unstaked at the same time? And it does not. It actually has it's a time deal, and I can't remember how it works. Again, I'm going to butcher it because I didn't research this part. I've read about it, but it's a certain amount at a time, so it's not all at one time. Now, the nice thing about that is you'll start to see it. If it is going to dive, you'll just start to see it ticking down. You're like, okay, I better get my shit out of there.
Which will cause ETH runs.
Oh yeah, it's an ETH run. Shit. I'll buy it once it gets down, though. I mean, everything's running on ETH right now, so.
Oh, well, I mean, it was the smart thing to do back then. There wasn't a lot of other options, right? And it was a simple contract. You could fork it very easily. You could turn it into whatever you wanted to turn it into. And then, what was it? Probably 2-3 years ago, things started to change where these other chains were coming out that were different. And were giving people different options. Like there's some that are running on Rust now, which is a completely different programming language. And you have your arguments. It's like the whole JavaScript thing before. Is Java better? Or, and you have these arguments back and forth. I think the stability and security of some of these are going to tip it a little bit. While we have our ETH things, and we've seen, like with the miners, it happened with Gala, where there was a man-in-the-middle attack. That was for the
Gala on Binance.
No. The man-in-the-middle attack was when they were minting the boxes, and that guy was snagging them all. Yeah. That was genius what he did. Put himself right in front of the miner so he could grab whatever transactions he wanted, and he was able to figure out, because of the minting structure, which ones were the good boxes. Yeah. And with the staking, that removes that, but it opens up 5 others. See, they want you to believe that this, moving to the proof of stake solves all the problems, but it doesn't. There's always going to be problems, right, on every chain, no matter what you do or where you go. Exactly. So you just gotta do the best you can with what you got, man.
Yep. And preservation of capital, number 1. Yeah. Don't get crazy.
Yeah, it's not about what you make, it's about what you don't lose. So speaking about what you're not losing, and that is your sanity with Gala, right? So you had a really good take in the green room. If you guys aren't premium, become premium. We had an awesome talk today in the green room, and we're going to go a little bit more in depth on this, but the recent announcement with Google's partnership with Gala, what's your take on that?
So in the crypto world, this was back with the ICO era, and every project would come out and they're like, hey, here's who our founders are, here's this, and oh, by the way, as they start going through everything, man, we partnered with such and such, and the big one was always Amazon, right? But then when you get down to the actual like nitty gritty, their partner with Amazon was that they were hosting their servers on an AWS server. That was their partnership. aka they pay Amazon money and they get a service. So when the whole Google partnership in the fund that came out, I posted to get a little more detail, but I didn't get anything out of there. And then we had more people kept posting about it, but there was nothing really there to talk about this partnership. I would imagine that an actual partnership with Google would be a much larger announcement. I mean, articles, this and that going out like, hey, this is a Google partnership. And so I posted, on Twitter and stuff too. I was like, hey, I don't want this to be another, 2017, 2018, I'm partnering with Amazon thing. Like, what's going on here? Well, nothing really came out until recently when Bitbender said that it was, I'm going to butcher that too, unless it's in front of me. I think I posted it somewhere. I want to make sure I read it right. He said, it's pretty, so it's basically, somebody was asking him about, is there a write-up on the Google partnership? What does it mean? How's this working? And he said, it's pretty simple. Both Gala and Gradient Ventures, which Gradient Ventures is the Google venture capital deal, are investors in C2. And that's it. So they're both investors in the same fund. That's the partnership, which is kind of bullshit in my eyes. Like that's I mean, look, you can jump on them. I don't like it. It doesn't look good. But we may not have all the information. Like they may be holding some information back that they want to put out that there is an actual partnership in there, that they're working together on games or a marketplace platform, something like that. There could be a whole lot going on in the background we just don't see. I don't see that. I haven't been told that. I have no clue. All I'm seeing is what they're posting out there, and it stinks. Doesn't look right. So,
Well, any news they can put out at this point to try and keep themselves going with whatever momentum they have. And I think maybe they probably just overhyped it as usual. We've done a really good job of trying to keep the FOMO and the hype tamped down, right? So I think what you said is perfect, right? We don't know the real why behind the why because we don't get to sit in those Slack meetings, right?
right.
But it doesn't look good when the CEO says one thing and the president says another. So you've got to people say that all the time. I don't remember the exact quote, but it's there's this person's story, there's this person's story, and somewhere in the middle is the truth.
Yeah.
So it's probably some kind of a mix in the middle, but you if you haven't learned, you've got to take, and it's not just Gala, it's every company out there,
Every
right?
company.
You've got to take everything with a grain of salt and understand that these people are masters of marketing and massaging words, right? We could sit here and break it down here too, right? We have a partnership with Black Harp. No. We have a guy that is part of Black Harp sitting in our studio. We don't have a partnership, but you can massage the words to have it say whatever. Yes. Yes. Bring it in.
It's coming. So, yeah, I think that one just sat with me wrong. I didn't like it. I didn't get answers. I asked for answers. I didn't get answers. So, I mean, I can only go off with what I was told. And unfortunately, that one just stunk. It just wasn't really good. And I mean, we just put out an article when we stay on the Gala subject. We just put on a quarterly update for their, quarter, all the stuff that they have that they're trying to, get out to us on their roadmap. So we put that out, and it was, really, they haven't hit any of their goals outside of a couple minor ones that are on there, partially, and the quarter's not over. So they still have time to hit that. And the other side is, somebody posted it in the Platinum channel, and they said, here's all they want to know. It's like, this is awesome. We are still working on this, and we're down this route. Now, I get where they're coming from, like getting that information. That's a whole nother level of like commitment by a company to continue to keep the public abreast of a situation. And I don't think they need to do that because one, they're a private company. But two, if you don't, then you're beholden to your roadmap, right? So what'll probably have happen if they address it at all will be an adjustment to their roadmap of here's where we're going to be in quarter one, and here's where we're at now. So here's the adjustments going forward, is my guess. So again, take it all with a grain of salt and just kind of, ride the wave of excitement, which is all the play tests. There's so many play tests right now. You can play every game in the world. So there's that. I have one. I play a couple games, like religiously. I play Apex. I love it. It's like my favorite game. But I also play Dragon Strike. It's my shitter game. AKA I have like 5 minutes like in between a meeting or something like that, and I'll pull it up and play a few games of Dragon Strike. So I do play Dragon Strike. It's there.
Nice.
I've tried to play tests on most of the games. I haven't done Eternal Paradox yet. So I hear that's pretty badass. So.
Yeah, there's I'm going to have to find some time this weekend to jump into these play tests and see how they're going, right? So I admitted fully that I was not a TWDE fan, and I hated the game, and it was stupid, and then I played it, and I kind of liked it. Oh, yeah. So I'm going to jump back in there and see what they got going on. I'm not good at shooters. I mean, I'll try it, but anything where I have to shoot something, I'm terrible. So I don't really have much fun with those.
That's next week, right? On the 20th, I think. Something like that.
Yeah, they're all happening conveniently right at the end of the quarter. And there's probably 5 or 6. I think there's 6 that are going on. And I've seen some people saying some really good things. The spider tanks thing, you know, I'll tell you what though, I do want to throw him some love before I beat him up. I got an email today from Gala Games, and it was, I usually just slough those things off, but when I pulled up, I had it on my iPad. I pulled it up this morning when I got up, and I was about to swipe it away, and I looked, and I'm like, wait a minute, this looks kind of new. So there's a new format, and this thing had like all the stuff that's going on and broke it down into links and small digestible bites to where you could click it. It would give you the info like a Medium article or something, and then kick you back in, and you go, oh, well, what about this? That was super cool. If they'd have been doing this, you know, like a weekly recap or a bi-weekly recap like that with this format where it's lots of white space, not 50 paragraphs of shit that you can't fucking read because you're bored after 4 sentences, just quick links that give you bite-sized chunks of info about what the hell's going on. Genius move.
You'd love that.
Loved it. I did. Yeah. I did. I loved it. It was sent to my box today. I actually clicked on almost all the links.
You know, my big announcement I was going to tell you. You're like, you got a big announcement? What if I...
That was you?
Well, no, but... that may be something that we're working on. Testing it right now, actually.
Really? Now, is this for Gala, or is this just for all the shit you got going on?
Any Discord out there.
That's
all I'm going to say. I'm not going to say anything more. Nothing more. But I will. I'm going to need some testers. So if I'll let you be a tester for sure. But if anybody else wants to be a tester here coming forward, you know, we'll get you in there. So you can
that is epic news. You're right. You said I would like it. I do like it, and that's exactly.
Right
exactly. I didn't even know I was doing it. That's the funny part.
I love it. See?
That's no.
Geologists just talking right now. You know.
So yeah, right. So here's the thing, right? And I want to say this without being horribly disrespectful, because I'll take your advice and try and catch more bees with honey than vinegar. And I'll put it this way. This is a great lesson to anybody who's listening. Gala people. That if you listen to what the people want and then deliver that, they get excited, they get happy, and they do the things that are inducive of a successful platform. So we've been asking, and even you've asked too, for these bite-sized chunks that come regularly, that have actual content you want to read, aren't overwhelming, just the right size, but keep you informed and keep you excited. Bing, man.
Yeah.
Listen to what the people want. And when somebody like you can come up and step up and take the lead on that, that is phenomenal. Keep rolling with it.
Yeah, hopefully we can get more testers on here in probably 2 weeks. I'm gonna be gone next week, so the week after we'll probably bring on another 10 to 15 testers, and then after that, I think the road is going to be, we want like 100 people on the platform to test it out, and then we'll just kind of roll it out pretty fast. So it'll be fun.
Very cool.
Yeah.
So
let's see here. Should we do gameplay?
Well, you know, speaking of games, they have now this play test with Gala with TWDE, right? And with that, they have a service called NerdNode. And you look at your computer like that, and you're a zombie because you can't get the goddamn node working the way you want to get it working. So instead of struggling with it, run over to nerdnode.io. $25 per month per node. They will take care of everything for you. Quick, easy, fast onboarding. The Cranberries, the famous group, the Cranberries, even made a song about NerdNode.
Oh, I'm excited.
Have you heard it?
Not yet. Is this?
Where are your nodes? Where's your nodes? NerdNode, NerdNode, NerdNode. Go to NerdNode.
I hope that gets clipped out. That was amazing.
Got to change it up, man. You got to make it interesting and fun for people to be excited about NerdNode.
That was the best ever. Jay Soto, you're being called out right now. That YouTube short. Somebody get that guy on the line. I want to see it in 5 minutes. Go. His shorts are awesome. He does so many of those things.
He's a hoot. He really is, man. And he's sensible. He's smart. He's passionate about gaming. Those are the people that need to have the attention paid to them the most. Him and Timbo, man, it's gamer life.
Oh, yeah.
And when they tell you something, you need to listen and act on what those folks are telling you, because that's what they live for in this world.
Yeah, he was going off on the Jay Soto was on the Web 2, Web 3 gamer side, and he was kind of upset with the token stuff, and he's just like, look, the Web 2 gamers don't give a crap about the token. Like, they don't care. They're here for the game, man. Like, play the damn game, give me a game, and that's all they care about. And it was a good thread. I commented a couple times for him. So, but speaking of games, we've got Fury. So just so you know, I'm going to butcher this. This is 30 minutes.
So what platform is this one on?
Hold on, I'm going to pull up some stuff here, and let's see. So, Fury overview. Okay. It's a P2E online shooter built in the Unreal Engine 5. Oh, yeah, I remember. Okay, I'm reading a few of these.
Ooh, this is going to be really good then.
This is built on XRP. This is the one I found them. Somebody posted it actually in one of our podcasts last time we were doing a podcast and asked about this game. So we pulled it up. It's Fury. It's currently holding an IDO where users can purchase Fury to be eligible for the token and the NFT airdrops. Like I said, it's built on, I think it's built on XRPL. He has XRP in here, but I think it's XRPL if I remember right. It's supposed to be launching on Steam and Epic with full support for console controllers, just controllers, right? You had to be specific, because again, that's another one where they say, hey, we're going to be console ready. Well, the reality is you're going to be partnered with that console if you're actually going to be on the console. So.
I recognize this. It's all over Twitter. It's ads on my Twitter feed. I recognize that logo.
Fury is?
Yeah.
Well, that's because you're a big XRP guy, so you're all over XRP.
Well, I wouldn't say big. I've become more interested this last year, yes.
Yeah. I mean, the gameplay looks good. I like it so far. I'll take it. It looks nice. I mean, Unreal Engine 5 is pretty legit with some of the stuff that they can build on there. So, and I know Mirandus is doing stuff on Unreal Engine 5, I think, as well. At least they talked about it in that last little AMA that they had. Let's see here. So, let's see. Emphasis on character and weapon customization. They've mentioned over 70 equipment elements and more than 15 weapons that they can alter. There's numerous game modes from TDM to nomination and even battle royales. It's cool. A lot of people love that shit. Token info. So total supply of 20 billion. Why did people keep picking 20 billion? Is that like a magic number? I mean,
it might be.
Got 20 billion. Oh no, Gala's 50 billion, right?
Mm-hmm. 50.
I'm wrong. Never mind.
No, but 20 billion. So that's a great point. They don't need that many right off the bat. They really don't.
No, I mean, and that's the thing with all this stuff is it's all relative anyway. Are you expecting it to actually harness that many transactions for one game that you need 20 billion tokens? So you want them to all be worth 5 cents a piece?
Well, maybe that's what I was just thinking the same thing. Maybe they want to keep it so that it'll keep the token price so it isn't, like $85 a token or $200 a token.
Oh, there he died. He died.
He's died twice already.
Oh, man. You suck, Eddie.
It's a good thing I'm not playing this. You wouldn't see any gameplay. You would just see blood splattering everywhere. My kids, I'd play Call of Duty with my kids, right? And I'm so bad at it that I would have one of the kids on my team and I would still get toasted constantly. I mean, I couldn't even play. I get so pissed I want to throw the controller.
All right, let's see here. So total of 20 billion with 7 billion to be sold in an IDO pegged at the value of 0.00014. So
3 zeros?
that's 3 zeros. So you're looking at what is that? 1400ths of a cent, if I remember right. 3.8 billion tokens to be held in the treasury. And there's nothing in there that says what that treasury is going to do. Is that treasury going to be given to the CEO? I don't know.
Maybe rewards. Usually they do that for like marketing and rewards and stuff like that.
There's 2 billion for marketing set aside.
Oh, okay.
2.2 billion for team and advisory board. Okay, so what's that come out to right there? Actually, I'm going to do some quick math because I'm kind of curious. So if you have 2.2 billion, that's a lot of zeros. I got to go sideways on my calculator. 2.2 billion times 0.12314. Oh, that's only 380 grand. Okay, that's not too bad. When you talk about it for the team, that's I mean, for the team and advisory board. Okay.
That's reasonable.
Yeah, totally. Rest of the tokens for airdrop and staking mechanics in the future. Great. Players earn Fury for time spent playing, kills, games won, and competing in tournaments. I like it.
I like that.
Okay. Fury can also be used for accessing tournaments, participating in the DAO, betting on tournaments, and staking mechanics. That's the thing that I'm seeing a lot of these games do is they're creating a DAO or a DAO environment, right? They realize that the community is fucking huge because they're the ones playing the game. Make them a part of that thing. And these DAOs, if they're ran correctly, they're put together correctly, they can do some great things for the game, right? You don't have to make it so the DAO, they're voting on what color is that Connex going to be. Oh, let's make it green. Oh no, red. No, you don't have to do that shit. But make them a part of what are you seeing in the game? We're missing out on, we really love this type of game mode. We really want this game mode. And you see a lot of people getting on it and, agreeing with it and saying we can adjust things. Then you get real world, information on what the players of the game want, which is the DAO. It can be set up correctly. It just, and I see a lot of these games and a lot of these companies are setting up DAOs specifically for that stuff. And I think it's great. It involves the players, right, in the actual development of it.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. Fury can also be used for purchasing weapon skins and other NFTs. Makes sense. And he has here the gameplay feels. This is his kind of understanding what it feels like. Gameplay feels familiar yet unique. Movement and everything reminds him of PUBG or any other third-person online shooter. Easy to use mechanics like lean function, peeking corners, standard movement controls, a lot of stuff you see in COD and all those type of wartime games. Game feels incredibly smooth for being just a demo. The video being shown has some lag that was not there during the actual gameplay. The demo is only against bots, no real enemies. So you're not playing, you don't have actual people playing against you yet. So that's what he's got.
That still looks really good. This is, a lot of these graphics are phenomenal.
That's Unreal Engine 5, man. Read about Unreal Engine 5. It's pretty amazing what it can do. Add into it with the AI functions to be able to help build stuff. It's going to be ridiculous what games can be coming out and in a time frame that's going to be condensed. So we're so used to that 5, 6, 7 year time frame of really, really good games coming out. I think it's going to be much more condensed with Unreal Engine 5, but also the AI component that can really speed things up. So it's going to be pretty interesting. It's cool.
Very cool. I was watching some of the reels they had on this Unreal Engine, and you can't tell the difference between a film and Unreal Engine.
Yeah, right? They have this which one's which, and they have you pick what's the real one, what's the Unreal Engine. It's nuts, dude. It's just kind of crazy.
I think they're going to get to now. They had, and I'm bringing this up on tomorrow's Faz Radio on a normal show. I copied a Twitter thing, and I'm digging deep. It's this guy posted. He's a big AI guy, and he posted how he started a website, a marketing website, and he's doing everything. He said, he told the AI, I have $100 budget, and my goal is to get to $1,000 as quickly as possible in earnings. And I'm going to do everything that you tell me to do. And so far, he's broken even. And it's only been like a week. And it built the website for him. It's telling him how to market, who to market to what ads to run and when, because it connects with Google and finds out the best. So you have like these games, right? How you're talking about shortening that 5, 6, 7 year period. They're going to have, I think, in the fairly near future, especially since they've gone to version 5 already from version 4 in such a short time, that you're going to be able to create games like this in a weekend. And it's going to be pretty much created. The human aspect to it is going to be to tell it what you want to see, and it's going to do all the actual work. Coders are going to be a thing of the past. The way that they're bringing this up.
You got to think it's. I'll put the calculator out there again. There won't be a thing of the past. You're going to have the coders that are going to be lazy and are going to use it to develop things for them that are just going to be basic, and whatever AI can do, that's what it's going to be. And then you're going to have the coders that are going to utilize it to create something amazing, and or use it to be much faster to create something amazing. So that same thing with a mathematician. No, stop it. The same thing with math. Somebody that's doing math. You either have the kid that's just going to be, I'm going to use the calculator to get my answer quick, or the kid that is understanding that he knows the concept of what he's doing, and he's going to use the calculator to make himself better, right? I think that's what AI is going to do.
So the genius behind what you create, I think, will still be there, but the actual physical coding of it, and granted, it's based on what everybody else has coded before, right? So it's not like this stuff's coming up with brand new things. I mean, it probably could at some point, but the credit does go to all these devs who have written all this code for decades now.
Oh, for sure.
So you got to give credit where credit's due. But I mean, yeah, these time frames, I think, are going to shorten even more dramatically as this comes out.
Yeah.
There's a bunch of AI stuff that I'm going to feature tomorrow. Hopefully it won't be FazLESS Friday.
Really lonely.
Right? And I want to highlight this stuff because this gameplay looks like a heck of a lot of fun. And having them, quite honestly, for people like me, right? I'm not talking about like tournaments or competitions where there's tokens or money at stake, but to have, to be able to earn AI help, right? So if you really suck, maybe having the AI not so much fire for you, but to be able to read how bad you actually are and give you like a little handicap along the way. And once you start to learn it, it backs off automatically. It's just like anything that you do, right? Training wheels, exactly. So, you're not the world's greatest football player when you first start playing Pee-wee football, right? But the more you play, the more you get into it, the better you get. Same with baseball or anything else. So, if you practice, the AI can determine how much help it needs to give you. Talk about adoption. There's people like me who, if that was available, I would play shooters a hell of a lot more because they're fun. I just suck. So if I could get some help that could automatically determine when to back off, that would be epic.
So you say training wheels, but see, training wheels, it's a misnomer, right? Training wheels actually hinder you from learning how to ride a bike faster. You have the glide bikes for kids that are young, which actually they learn how to ride a bike. It's like 10x faster or something ridiculous than people on training wheels.
I have never heard of that.
Yeah, so it's just a little glide bike so they can have their feet on the ground and they pedal with their feet and then they can lift their feet up and they glide around on the bike to get used to that, two-wheel, that wheel there. Literally, they ride bikes super incredible. That's how I got my son riding a bike too. So it's so fast, and just outside of them relying upon the, those wheels to hold them up, the training wheels, they're learning to balance. Like they're learning it and they're getting it faster. So
Very
Now,
cool.
people
I
without
wish
a
I would have
learning-
known that.
Now, people with a learning disability like yourself might work because you don't get that point in time of having training wheels are a must, dude. Don't get you on a glide bike.
Good God. Yeah, I'm horrible. We did a fast game night, and we had Family Man on with us. And that guy is one of the most patient guys in the world, and he was fucking yelling at me because I'm so bad. I'm like, I made Family Man yell. Oh my God.
He's one of my favorite, he's one of my favorite people in this whole ecosystem. Is Family Man. That dude's great.
Yeah. Yeah, he's a hell of a good guy. He's yelling at me. He's like, "Why the fuck are you over there?" And I'm like, "I don't know. Am I not supposed to be there?"
I don't know what I'm doing.
I don't.
I need my training wheels.
I do.
Oh man. All right. Let's see. What else do we want to continue?
We can let the gameplay go for people who want to do that. We're coming up with about 15 minutes left in the hour. So we did want to reach out to the audience if they haven't seen Twitter lately about a fantastic new startup that was announced recently.
Oh yeah. Seedstarter.
We have Seedstarter, and for those of you who have been following some of the progress of one of our favorite former Gala people, Mr. Jesse Hines, he is founding a startup called Seedstarter. And we're going to kind of talk about what has been released so far, where he's going with it, what the general idea is of it. It's brilliant, actually. I would have never thought of it, and I see why he kept it quiet for so long, because it's a very, very good idea. It gives anybody the opportunity to work with crowdfunding, whether it's in the crypto side or on the regular traditional business side. Do you have any of the documents you can pull up on screen or no?
I just have so we wrote an article on it. We talked with Jesse, talking about, his stuff. We've been talking to him about it for a long time, and there's some stuff we didn't want to put too much information out, so we had him read through what we were putting out on there. And ultimately, when you look at it, you should read the article first off, because again, I'm just going to read off the article because it's written really well. But essentially, if you think about like a Kickstarter, right? So in a Kickstarter, you can put money in really low amounts. In this scenario, with the rules and regulations, $25 is a minimum. So, and you don't have to be a qualified investor to be able to do that. So, and Kickstarter is the same way. But in Kickstarter, you invest into this company, you give them money, and they give you a product back, whatever that may be, a magic clock that turns red at midnight, whatever, right? So, but this, you actually are able to invest and expect money in return. You're investing in the company itself, and in that sense, it's completely different, with what you're looking to get back from it than what a Kickstarter model is. And this is going to extrapolate into the crypto world with, tokens and whatnot that's going to happen down the road. But it's a security essentially, right? So you're not skirting around the fact of the securities laws. You're going right at it and doing everything you're supposed to do, and in raising money and that kind of stuff. So it's pretty revolutionary. It's going to happen. Hopefully, I think they put out next quarter, Q2, is when the platform should go live. And he's been posting a ton of stuff on Twitter. You can read through his stuff, ask him questions. In my eyes, as I've read through a lot of the documentation of how he's going to go through with this, it's freaking awesome. This is what not just crypto space, but just the funding of a company, of being able to go, hey, I want to raise some funds, and I want to give part of my company's, exposure to these people to be able to let them, be a part of this. It's huge. This is freaking huge, right? I love it. This is fantastic.
And it's the big kicker on this is it's fully compliant.
100%.
All right. This is not where there's going to be trouble from FINRA or SEC or anybody down the road. This is going to be a fully licensed platform.
Yeah.
And
he's literally gone to them and said, hey, this is what I'm doing. Approve me, and, hopefully that goes through. But yeah,
well,
it's you.
Yeah, and this is the big thing is that it's for everybody, right?
Mm-hmm.
So people who have a lot of money, people who have a little bit of money, and people who just want to put $25 towards something. And there's a lot of minutia that goes around. I'm not going to steal any of his thunder. It's up to him how he wants to release all that information. But it is very unique. It is compliant. Previously, for a regular person like you and me, we couldn't previously get into any of these IPOs or anything else. You had to be what's called an accredited investor. And back when I was doing securities, you had to have at least 250,000, or you had to have your FINRA licenses, or you had to have been invested for at least 10 years. And if you met these criteria, you were an accredited investor, you could buy these IPOs, you could buy these startups, and the rich basically got richer, right? Well, in this space, the way that Seedstarter is being set up, you don't have to worry about any of that. He's framed this platform to fit within the law, okay, of how they've determined you can do this and still be legally compliant.
Right.
And it's a win-win-win, right? A triple win. It's a win for the investor, it's a win for Seedstarter, and it's a win for whoever comes to them. Right. And when you hear all the details, I'm telling you, you're gonna flip out, because you would think that there's no way that this could be legal, and it absolutely is.
Right, and he lays it out with what the current laws are, and what's been changed, and there is a caveat, right? This is going to be more for your small to medium sized businesses, because there is a cap limit of $5 million per year to be able to be raised. So you're not going to get a $100 million raise going into this with this type of platform. Right. So, but again, once you're going for $100 million raise, there's something else going on there. So,
yeah, you're a lot bigger at that point. You don't really need Seedstarter at that point.
Yeah, exactly.
So, check it out. It's Seedstarter on Twitter. I'll try and remember to drop those links into the description of this as well, so that you can pop over to Twitter. Give Jesse some love. This is a really good project. I think it's gonna make some serious traction in not only the crypto industry but in the investment industry overall.
Yeah, go read the article in the Faz Discord under ForgedInCrypto. It lays out a lot of stuff in there as well. Yeah, that's great. That's a good one. I'm excited for that.
All right, as we wrap up, we can take them out. But if there's anybody who wants to throw out any questions or comments in the comments section that they want our idiot banter on, feel free to do so. We'll answer those up, and then we'll head on out of here in the next 5 to 7 minutes. We'll keep it to an hour tonight.
Yep. Let me give one thing, because I wanted to talk about Miria really quick too.
Miria. Yeah.
So Miria did their they did a roadmap last year for the 2023 year, and theirs was, they did it in halves. So first half of the year, second half of the year. So we, much like Gala, we did the quarterly for it. So again, these are all their stuff. When you read the article that we put out, it's all for on a half a year, but we just wanted to see where they were at with their roadmap in the first quarter, and they haven't completed anything. So makes it easy.
Oh, no.
Now, the other part is I've noticed that they are very, very, their Discord's been quiet from the get-go. It was a bunch of bots in the beginning anyway. It sucked. And now it's just dead, man. And they've been pushing off their node sale, for the public node sale, for the longest time. Their nodes aren't running. And when you can't get any questions answered in their Discord at all. If you think Gala's bad at their information, if you don't like Gala's information, don't go to Miria. It's a bajillion times worse. They are, Like I get vibes of like rug pull. I don't know, man. Like now they're doing a Miria airdrop, right? So they're airdropping some Miria, $20,000 worth of Miria or whatever it is, but yet their nodes aren't running to distribute the token. And again, we can't get answers. It's sad. So, and me
We've
being
talked about that here, yeah.
Well, here's the thing, part of Nerd Node. So I've approached them in many different ways of saying, hey, you have this platform, so we can run nodes for your clients, right? For your network to get it up and running. We already have, a couple hundred nodes that people have said that they want us to run for them for Miria. And all I get back, they won't listen to anything I say. They don't read anything I tell them. They're like, oh, you're just another virtual server platform. We've already got partners in that. We don't need anything else. And I'm like, no, we're not. You're not listening to what I'm saying.
Right.
They're just very like quick to cut you off. I mean, and I've been going through channels of when I first heard about Miria, it was through Nansen Alpha, and I had the ability to purchase nodes before the actual investor side. It was like the very first node sale they put out, and they did their little spiel. And this was before a lot of people heard about them, and I was like, it just sounded Gala clone-ish. I didn't buy any at that time, but they would not answer questions. They were very simplistic, like very like close to the chest. They wouldn't do, if you watch any interviews that they do, like it's all scripted. They don't go off the rails. So
we've talked about that. I tried to get them on, and they refused to go live. It had to be recorded, and we had to submit a list of questions, and we weren't allowed to vary from those. And if they didn't like the questions, we'd have to submit new ones. I was like, no, forget it. I don't even want you on Faz Radio. I tried to get, and they laughed at me because I forget the name of that thing, the Sigilly or Segal or whatever the hell that thing was that they had.
The sigil.
Yeah. Sigil. And I jumped through every hoop, and I never could get onto the platform. It kept rejecting me, and the emails wouldn't go through and everything else. I gave up. I said, piss on this. If it's this difficult now, it's only going to be more difficult later.
Yeah, I don't like the way they're operating. They may have some good things that come out, but I mean, honestly, yeah, not a fan so far. We'll see. Things can change, though.
Change overnight. Never know. Cool.
All right.
Faz said he had finally made it out of traffic. He was going to try and jump on these last few minutes, but I haven't seen him yet.
Well, it wouldn't be FazLESS Radio if he jumped on.
Yeah, you know what? That's true. If he jumps in, we'll have to kick him off and say this is FazLESS Radio.
Muted that.
Or I'll just end it right when he shows up.
Thanks for joining us. Goodbye.
Bye. It's not like he hasn't done that to us before.
Oh man, it was a good cast though. I think we're winding it down anyway. So
yeah, this was good. I think we had a fantastic talk this evening. Thanks for making it out, guys. We had quite a showing tonight. I was watching, and Zora came late. But he finally made it in. He's a devout listener. All of us appreciate that. I've been catching his show. I finally got to catch his Twitter Spaces, which are fantastic talks as well. They have some pretty intense conversations over there that go pretty deep. So if you haven't checked out Zorro's Twitter Spaces, please do so. There's a couple of good shows that are out there. I know Glitch Through Gaming.
Yeah.
You were on there. I was on there. He just had a guest on. Scuzzy is his name. And I listened to that today. Finally, I was able to catch up at that. And it was a fantastic discussion around spider tanks and where they're going and tokenomics. And I mean, it was really good. Glitch is someone who's adding a ton to the broadcasting space around these games and ideas and ways that they're going to improve. So many people. It's
well, I'm
fantastic.
Listening to the Zora Gala one right now with him, so it's good. I like it a lot.
That was a good one.
Cool.
All
right, guys. Well, it's good chatting with you. It's been exactly an hour, and fast.
Time to rock and roll out of here. Boys, girls, ladies, and gentlemen, thank you for your time and your fun this evening. And we will catch you Nateless. It'll be Nateless Radio next week, or ForgedLess, or Unforged, Deforged.
Betty might be able to make that one, though. So.
Oh, so you guys just are staying away from each other. Is that it?
Well, he's in Texas. I'm in Oregon now.
Right. Well, that's what I'm saying. He moved to Texas. And then all of a sudden, you guys can't manage to be on the same stream together again. I mean, yeah. All right. I see how it goes.
Life happens.
No, I know. You guys are both awesome. All right. We're out of here. See you later.
Oh, wait, Titan. We have our pre-recorded outro to do. Can you say your thing so that people will know?
Oh, absolutely. Hey, like, subscribe, and throw some comments below. That helps us, which in turn helps us provide you with much, much better content every week. Thanks for being a listener. Thanks for supporting the channel.
And thanks for sitting through our pre-recorded outro.